Change the rules of the game? Who are you kidding? Can't you see who's representing us and all that talk about what they were going to do? They haven't done any of it, and they just play us for fools. You see, the folks we elect are usually afraid of their own shadows when it comes time to stand up and demand what they promised us they would do. Their leadership takes care of them if they go along with the game, which includes a long list of favors they get that we can't as just regular citizens can't even dream of. If a relative needs a job or has a problem that needs to get fixed, or if they want to pass an appropriations bill that's going to direct millions to help their husband or wife's business, someone will take care of it for them. But then they have to cover for everybody else doing the same thing. It's quid pro quo. They think it's the privilege of being a public servant. I think it sounds more like organized crime. Of course, cash is hard to follow unless they find it in someone's possession, like the 90,000 they found in Congressman Jefferson's freezer. I wonder if that's where the term cold hard cash came from, although he ended up being indicted for bribery. But how many people get caught like that, or get elected to Congress without becoming millionaires? That's why it's so important to get reelected, because it may take longer than one term. And what they say is that there are two types of people working in Washington. There's the lobbyists who make a fortune controlling the Congress, and the members of Congress who work for the system so that when they leave, they can make a fortune controlling the Congress as lobbyists. It's a vicious cycle. And they all make sure they play the game right and reward the corporations who do the hiring of the lobbyists so that they can always become a lobbyist for them when they leave, like our buddies Cantor and Lott. And just about every one of them do, making millions beyond what they and their families made when they were serving in office. Although, you know, they all did pretty good there too. But think about what they said when what they were going to do, and what they actually accomplished in those 100 days they work in a year. Then just check out how many of your former members of Congress have moved to Washington as lobbyists. I think just about all of them. I mean, whenever you look into it, you find out that they're living in Washington, doing something, getting paid a lot of money for it. At that point, they know whatever happens, they're going to achieve their American dream of wealth. They know the rules of the game, and they know in Congress you don't get gifts unless you give your support. And it's the lobbyist's job to offer the bribe. At least that's the way one of the most powerful lobbyists in Washington explained it. It's that guy, Jack Abramoff. And he went to jail. But like he said, he was giving gifts to those in Congress who were doing what he wanted, even though they were supposed to be making decisions on our behalf. And he couldn't remember anyone who didn't play the game with him. So, when you talk about throwing all the congressmen out of office except yours, ask yours if they ever got a gift or a tip from a lobbyist. You see, these bribes involve staffs, families, and friends. It also includes the insider information that can make each one of them millions in the stock market and billions as a group. I read in one news report that staff members were making millions by getting information even before their senator gets it. Of course, we get it after they told their gardener, if we're lucky. And you don't think Wall Street controls government? I mean, come on. Of course it does. Their support just doesn't show up on campaign reports. And you know, you don't even have to be a member of Congress. That former head of the Democrat National Committee, Terry McAuliffe, now the governor of Virginia, made $18 million off of a $100,000 investment. That's an almost 18,000% profit. Wait a minute, that can't be. 18,000%. Nobody in the history of mankind has ever made that much, have they? Maybe that's what politicians make. I would think 100% would be a lot, wouldn't it? I mean, that's doubling your money. Some would say he was incredibly lucky or incredibly corrupt. And yet he was elected governor of Virginia just recently. Apparently those folks like the way things are. But you know, if I were them, I'd have him invest the money in their treasury. And what was amazing was that when that company that he invested in went bust, the only ones that got hurt were average Joes who didn't get the memo he got about getting out in time. All the while, Martha Stewart was rotting away in prison. All right, maybe not rotting away. I'm sure she was doing some cooking and decorating while she was there as well, but still, a double standard for average Janes like Martha. Her broker told her to sell her stock because of bad news, while those elected officials, who like to be called public servants, are trading their votes for millions worth of insider information. Just think, if they pass a defense bill or a drug bill or a communications industry bill or any kind of bill, doesn't it make you wonder if somewhere along the line someone may have made some money off of the effect of having that bill pass? And how many jobs and other benefits have they, their families, and their buddies received from the industries they're influenced by lobbyists to protect? I mean, how wrong was it that Scott Hatch, the son of Republican Senator Orrin Hatch of Utah, was lobbying for the makers of ephedra, while his father sponsored legislation to exempt that diet supplement from federal regulation? And Scott was paid $2 million for his hard work and efforts. $2 million. And over on the other side of the aisle, you have the three sons and a son-in-law of Democrat leader Senator Harry Reid from Nevada, lobbying for promoting federal land swaps, mining interests in the University of Nevada. Of course, they would have probably been first in line for those positions, even if Reid didn't control the Senate. I mean, how can we compete when big business has bought all that access? There's just no way we have the time or money that lobbyists spend protecting their interests. I know it may sound crazy, but I think the only way for our government to get back to its roots of representing the people and survive is to do away with lobbyists. Face it, it's the only way. Isn't that why we elect those to represent us in Congress, to be our lobbyists, to lobby for our interests? Maybe we should just ask our congressmen and women to sponsor a bill that does just that. I wonder what lobbyists would contribute to Congress to protect themselves. But we better take some drastic steps right now to take back our government. I think that needs to be first, getting rid of the lobbyists, and then get rid of all those organizations that get paid to lobby for their cause. It might do Congress some good to just hear from regular folks who can simply explain without all the politics what they think we need to do to make our country great again. And imagine having your own personal member of Congress as the only lobbyist lobbying Congress on your behalf. It would seem so simple, straightforward, so transparent, giving us a feeling of being in control again. The people telling government what it wants to do. What a novel idea. Us setting the goals and the rules to get there.